The Metaverse is emerging as the next big technology platform and promises to be the next frontier for human experiences on the internet. Into the Metaverse covers companies, technologies, and trends that are bringing these promises to life. Join creator and host Jonathan Ross-Friedman, founder and CEO of Super Social, as he interviews the brilliant minds that are building, shaping, and investing in the Metaverse.
Welcome to Into the Metaverse. Happy Monday. Lisa, great to see you again.
Happy Monday, Jan. We have so much to talk about, starting with Roblox and talking about how so much dynamism in the past year and the user-generated content, but also professional developers like yourself getting into the development on Roblox and how the brands come in and sort of what are the challenges, trying to figure out that pop that make users come to the platform, what really resonates with people. What has that journey been like?
Well, I think, there was a really interesting article on Ad Age that I was interviewed by the reporter, and we talked about really a lot of things related to the growth and the challenges that brands are facing as they come into a platform like Roblox, anywhere from what's the level of investment to how do you make sure that you continue to feed the community with fresh content, and all the way to how do brands make sure that the Roblox experience they build continues to be a valuable asset to the brand, even after the initial launch. And I think my bottom line was that, building a virtual world that is persistent is such an interesting inflection point. Because if you look at marketers, you have these fixed investment in digital, which are typically more around e-commerce, where over time it's became a pretty important channel of selling your goods, your core goods as a business. And no one is disputing the role of e-commerce today, right? In the United States, I think e-commerce is about a quarter of the total retail sales in the United States. And if you look at other marketing initiatives that a brand does, if you think about advertising on TV or social media, a lot of those became initial investments that over time became kind of relatively manageable and also in line with campaigns, right? So if you think about brands and the way they do on TikTok or Instagram, they would pump the investment at some points in order to maybe promote a new product that they launch. And then it would kind of really be more of a maintenance of those channels. But these are relatively simple channels because in order to maintain them and to continue to engage your community, your audience as a brand, you don't need a big team. And typically there's also a lot of advertising and social media agencies that take care of those needs. What's really interesting with Roblox is that it's a really different modality. It's a different medium because it's not like you're coming in and you jump in, you put an investment, and then you walk away. The value of a Roblox experience really is making sure that you have a persistent presence, that you are continuing to be part of the community, that people can continue and engage with you in real time, that there is fresh content that actually entices people to come back and re-engage with your experience. And so all of those things make the Roblox virtual world that brands are launching kind of a different beast. It's not a fixed cost investment like an e-commerce website that you can actually see how you sell and monetize. It may get there, but not yet. Roblox announced that they're going to launch real-world commerce integration in 2025. So that doesn't exist yet. And when it does, it will likely change the dynamics of how brands think about an investment on Roblox platform. And on the flip side is not one of those very lean, affordable channels where on TikTok you can come with thousands of dollars, you can experiment and just see what sticks and what happens. Here, the name of the game is really building persistent presence, continuously engaging players, and making sure that you're building an experience that will remain relevant to the audience and not something that you put a few $100,000 or even more into something that you're not going to be able to effectively maintain or continue to grow. And I think that's the reconciliation that brands are having now. They're starting to really understand the level of sophistication that is required as you build and promote and operate virtual world on the Roblox platform. And I think our conversation on Ad Age and some of the things I've been quoted on are really talking about how should brands address those challenges, and in order to not only justify the short-term investment they're making, but actually benefit in the long term from continuing to be relevant in those domains.
Yeah, it's a good point. And to that end, there's a lot of AI tools that continue to make some of these things easier and more efficient and unleashing creativity, whether, it's on Roblox or in these other places. And we're talking about this 1 year anniversary of ChatGPT. It's what a year it's been. Quite amazing. But so many creators now using AI for their experiences, like Pika Labs, which is now releasing this incredible video production from cinematic to animation, taking memes and or still photos, and suddenly they're moving and interacting, releasing creativity. Even the Roblox experiences you referred to, it's this creative, these juices, and AI really helping with that in the past 12 months, and presumably we'll see more and more.
Well, I think the underlying excitement I have with technology, and has been for a long time, is technology as a power to really unleash creativity, allowing people to make more, create more, and make a living off of that. Roblox is obviously an enormous platform that over the past decade and a half nurtured a global community of incredibly engaged and talented creators, developers, engineers, artists, designers, and so on and so forth. And Roblox themselves are working on incorporating generative AI into their platform in order to assist both engineers in order to be more productive and efficient with your code base, but also for creators. And I'm sure it will roll out across the platform in the coming years and really making a big difference for creators on the platform. I think what we're seeing with generative AI in general, and the introduction of new companies like Pika Labs that just raised $55 million in funding and launching what they call an idea to video tool, which is really interesting, is, I believe, a continuation of those trends that we've seen over the past couple of decades, right? If you think about applications like Facebook really democratized the ability for businesses to reach fans and purchasers online after Google with search engines. So Facebook really did that with a social graph that included gaming and so on and so forth. Then we had Instagram that really democratized your ability to create an image from your phone, customize it, personalize it, and launch it. Of course, Instagram became so much more than that, and today it's even an e-commerce platform. And then you had Snapchat with the ephemeral videos and messages that disappear, and TikTok that democratized your ability to create a fun, engaging, interactive, music-based video from the palm of your hands with a smartphone. And I think you're looking at Roblox and Fortnite Creative when it comes to 3D creation, Unity for game development on mobile, and now generative AI. And obviously Pika Labs is just one of a handful of companies that are already making a dent with regards to text to video or text to journey or text to image, that I think, again, taking that personalization and the creation capabilities to the next level in enabling people to make so much more than they could have done before. So there is a really clear theme and a line with internet technologies over the past 20 years. If you look at Shopify, creating software that enables anyone to become a merchant and sell and open their own e-commerce shop, there is a through line over the past 20 years. And generative AI, and what I think is so big about ChatGPT as the unlock of that movement, and who knows, it may well be that ChatGPT in 5 years is not going to be the biggest one. It may or may not be. But I love how in The Atlantic they wrote about the ChatGPT, the year celebration of ChatGPT is not just about ChatGPT itself. It's really the ideas that ChatGPT represent. And I think that's what's so powerful about generative AI and AI at large. And while there are many people who are so pessimistic about it, I think the possibilities of what these technologies are going to enable and unleash a powerful creativity for millions of people around the world, and hopefully being able to monetize those skills and make a living off of them. That is a really powerful trend, and we're very much at the beginning of that.
Yeah, and more on that democratization piece. The CTO of Microsoft was saying that what he loves about this is freeing us up from the mundane tasks. Some of the mundane tasks we have to do if you can use AI, and be more creative, be more productive. He talks about a friend who works in a nursing home and says, she can use AI to deal with the Medicare and the Medicaid payments. She can spend more time with the people who need the physical help. So I love that too, that it can free up these mundane tasks that so many of us get stuck with.
100%. I think less focus on mundane tasks, more focus on creativity and human ingenuity. And that's really, Steve Jobs used to say, a computer is a bicycle for the mind. And I think that sentence has never been more relevant than today. And I think all of these emerging technologies are really making the computer and even almost like a race car for the mind, not just a bicycle for the mind. And so, or a speedboat for the mind. So I think it's really powerful where we're at.
Yeah, really, I like that. And along those lines, it was really fun. Kiss, the rock band, I don't know if you saw this. They had their last live show. These are guys who are in their 70s. And at the very end, they released this video. And it is the 4 members of Kiss as avatars. And they are screaming and shouting and, shooting fire out of their mouths. And what I love is Gene Simmons and all of them in their 70s saying, this is going to be amazing. We're going to go places we never dreamed of before. And I just love that they're embracing new tech and seeing the possibilities. And, they probably have old creaky bones and can't quite perform and their voice changes, but they can live on forever in virtual worlds.
100%.
Yeah, so it's really cool. Also, another creative thing we saw is this Lego on Fortnite. That's an exciting shift for the kids, for the adults, for all of us, right?
Well, I think Lego has missed the initial rollout of virtual worlds. And with Minecraft, right, everyone looked at Minecraft in 2012 and said, this is what Lego should have built. This should have been Lego on the internet. And they haven't, and they've missed that. And I think ever since then, they've been trying to figure out what that looks like. And it seems like they decided to make a major bet by building a new Lego kind of building, creation, survival game world that lives inside Fortnite, which is really interesting. They haven't gone and built something completely new on the Unreal Engine. They went and built it inside Fortnite. Now, it is only launching on the 7th, so on Thursday. So we're going to have to wait and see what exactly that experience looks like. But it seems like there's going to be elements of avatar accessories that you can customize and accessorize your avatar on Fortnite with Lego appearance and Lego characters. I think I'm curious to see what exactly this game world looks and feels like. And most importantly, Fortnite is a relatively aged up gaming experience. It's a first-person shooter game. Even Fortnite Creative, right? About 70 to 80% of the Fortnite audience is above age 18. And so it's a relatively aged up demographic. Now, Lego is an ageless product. We know that. I love building Lego. People of all ages love building Lego. I wish I had more time to build Legos. But it's an ageless product. And so having said that, Lego is definitely associated more with young people because they just have more time to build. Again, I would love to have more time to build, but kids have more time to build Legos and play with Legos and so on and so forth. And so it's really interesting to see what's the contribution of Lego to Fortnite in terms of attracting younger audiences to the Fortnite ecosystem, as well as seeing how Fortnite actually amplifies the Lego experience for older demos. So it's a really interesting dynamic. Will it help Fortnite attract younger demographics? Interesting. Will Fortnite Creative as an ecosystem that is typically more older will be relevant for Lego? And will existing Fortnite Creative or Fortnite in general users kind of warm up to having Lego experiences? It's really, really interesting. No doubt, it's a really innovative collaboration. I think there's a lot of people who are keeping an eye on what it's going to look like and how successful it would be. Lego is not a company that is going for small things. So I'm certain that they've invested a lot in order for it to be a major success. All of that is to say, really interesting launch, keeping an eye on what it's going to look like, and very exciting to see how it pushes the sort of the category of virtual world in 3D even further. There are very few companies like Lego. It's one of the most admirable brands in the world. And it's really interesting that they're coming in, they're coming big time, they're coming deep, and let's see what it looks like.
Yeah, so it's interesting talking about these big juggernaut brands, like a Lego and even Fortnite at this point. One of the things I noticed in the reflection on the year of AI was this discussion of possibly the big names, the chat GPTs monopolizing, as we saw with Facebook, as we saw with some of the earlier Web 2 companies. And now this idea that maybe these really large companies are going to get all the money and some startups could be at a disadvantage, which I think would be a shame, for innovation. Also, we've discussed how regulations and such could negatively impact or be an issue for startups, where sort of these early adopters are going to be spared some of the regulations. They're going to get a lot of the money. What do you think of that? Are startups fighting an uphill battle, or will there be a place for them in this new creativity? Because we talk so much about these well-known brands.
Look, there's going to be always opportunities for startups. We talk about the well-known brands because there's just more context and meat into their actions. Startups are early, they're disruptive, and they need to live up to their hype and expectation. I definitely think that, just like we've seen with NFTs and then Metaverse and now with generative AI, it is clearly that we need to let things take time. Things take time. That doesn't mean that the big companies are going to control everything. The big companies are great and they're strong and they're smart and they will do well. TBD how well they will do. But there is always going to be startups that are disruptors that will be able to grow and be huge. Some of them will be bought. And so I think it's just the nature of the ecosystem. I'm bullish on innovation. I'm bullish on entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur myself, I believe that there will be major new companies growing and coming up. But it's definitely not easy, especially when you talk about heavy investments required in tech and GPUs and things like that. That obviously startups will struggle with making those big capex investments. That is a big advantage for large enterprises for sure. But I think it's also, while they may not act like that, startups and an innovative ecosystem works in the favor of large companies as well, both because they want to acquire them ultimately, and also because it would push those large enterprises to innovate as well. And if you don't innovate, at some point you'll die. I think that is clear. No one is immune from innovation. But if these large companies are able to continuously innovate and build things that people want, hey, good for them. History always have some companies that survive. And if you look at the top 20 S&P stocks 20 years ago, it looks very different than the ones who are top 20 at the moment. There may be one or two only from 20 years ago. I think it's potentially Berkshire Hathaway and Microsoft. Everyone else is basically new, or most of them. So, I think you can count on innovation and disruption to filter out the companies that do not innovate. And there's always place for startups. Now, how many companies that are founded now will be large? There's so many factors that come into that. But I'm bullish on the road ahead. I'm bullish on technology as a force of innovation and creativity. And I think there's going to be a lot of interesting stories in the coming years. Hopefully one of them, will be super social.
Yes, I'm banking on it. I'm sure it will. Go, go, go. Thank you, Jan. Great chatting with you.
All right, Lisa. Great having you on the show today.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Into the Metaverse. We hope you learned a lot and explored new aspects of the Metaverse.